Sly Cooper is a beloved PlayStation franchise created by Sucker Punch, and it has an adoring fanbase even to this day. But despite this, there's one aspect of this franchise that I personally feel like isn't talked about that much, and that is the Japanese version of the game, or Kaitou Sly Cooper. What is up guys, it's D66 Returns, and I have played the entirety of the Japanese region version of Sly 1, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience with it. This is the Kaitou Sly Cooper experience. And yes, that's the title. As someone who played Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus repeatedly in their childhood, I would have never been able to predict that in something as innocuous as the main menu there would be something different when playing this version. And yet, there is. If you wait for a moment on the main menu without pressing any buttons, an exclusive demo reel video will play that's edited like a music video, introducing the characters and showing off some gameplay segments, all while this song plays. I'll let you listen to it for a moment. This song is called Blackjack, and it was made by Tokyo Sky Paradise, a group that makes some really good music in my opinion. I highly recommend checking out the full version of Blackjack along with some of their other works. They sound really good. Interestingly enough though, this song also plays in the credit sequence at the end of the game, and the lyrics are in English, but it's a little difficult to understand to be honest. I still don't fully know what the lyrics are. Regardless, it's amazing to have something as simple as the demo reel being unique to this version of the game, and it was a fine surprise for me as someone who's played Sly Cooper their entire life. Having grown up with Kevin Miller being the only actor for Sly I had ever known, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect when playing this version of the game. But to say I was pleased with them was an understatement. Immediately after hearing Sly's first line of dialogue, I was pleased with how the actor had handled it. He had portrayed Sly what I would expect him to be portrayed as. Confident, a little sassy, and a slight amount of arrogance. And the acting among all the characters would continue to impress me from there, as almost every single character sounded exactly how I thought they would, in a Japanese actor setting. The interactions with them were done pretty well too, especially for Sly and Carmelita in particular. Here are a few examples of their performance. Playing this version of the game got me curious about who actually voices Sly and others in this game, and I would come to see how amazingly star-studded the cast of this version of the game would have. Or would eventually have, I guess. Although initially I mistook this as for Takeshi Kusao, who voices Sly Cooper in the Sly Cooper collection, and is most famously known for voicing future Trunks, Sly Cooper in this version of the game is voiced by Tomokazu Seki, who voices Rob Lucci from One Piece, or more recently as Majin Ku from Dragon Ball Daima and Dover Demon from Dan to Dan. Two shows that I have not watched. Bentley is voiced by Mitsuaki Modono, I hope I said that name right, who voices Khan from Bleach and Kujo from Yu Yu Hakusho, two shows I also haven't watched. Murray is voiced by Takashi Nagasuko, their most notable performances being Donkey Kong and Ganondorf, and even Big the Cat from the Sonic series. Carmelita is voiced by Subasu Makoto, another name I hope I said right, who is actually a singer and doesn't have many acting roles. I can save the villains and their voice actors for another day, I think, but I assume you get the point I'm trying to make by now. Out of all the ones I mentioned so far, the only one I felt faintly unsure about is Tsubasa performance. All things considered, in calm interactions with Sly, she does fine. It's when she's supposed to be more angry or like heightened emotion that she kind of falls a little flat. But considering the fact that she's a singer, not an actor, I'll give her some slack. And hey, if you don't like the Japanese dialogue, you can always change it to the English version in the main menu. Yeah, the entirety of the English dialogue is stored inside this version of the game, both the Japanese and the English version. Pretty cool, huh? Anyone who's played Sly 1 in the US will remember completing the story and being rewarded with a really cool anime version of the police file cutscene. Well, in this version, it isn't a reward, but in fact a default. Additionally, there are a total of 4 cutscenes in this style. There's the police file, there's 10 seconds, there's the completion ending for when you get all the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus, and there's also the Clockwork after credits scene where it shows Clockwork still being alive. Despite the other cutscenes besides the ones I mentioned not being in this style, which is unfortunate, there are still some cool things to be noted of. Primarily, the faces are a little bit different as they give it a more of a anime aesthetic, I suppose. I'm not really sure where to go with that. But some of the title cards are different. And by some, I mean Cold Heart of Hate. And Cold Heart of Hate looks really damn cool with this title card, I have to admit. I mean, look at this for a second. Beautiful. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, this is an experience I'm glad I went through. Being able to play this version of a game that I had never played before and seeing the game in an entirely new light is something I didn't expect, but I'm glad I received. It made me look into this game with a new pair of lenses, looking into different things like the different dialogue, the different voice acting, and how it's delivered. It was really a special experience. I'm not trying to act like this was a completely new game or anything. Obviously not. The gameplay's the same. But for what it lacked in gameplay changes, it made me look through things in a new perspective, and it got me interested in playing other Japanese versions of games. For example, Crash Insanity and what have you. Anyway, if you're a Sly Cooper fan, I highly recommend playing the Japanese version of this game if you're really looking for a new experience through the dialogue and the cutscenes and other things. Even if you're just looking for a fun thing to pass the time, I think it's pretty cool. This was the Kaitou Sly Cooper experience. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.